This position right here, when I pick back up my electric motor, this is going to allow me, once I touch this, to go to endo mode. Endo mode depends on what your manufacturer of your file recommends. A couple of things to point out: we're in memory 1 position of endo. We're at 300 RPM. We're at 1.0 Newton centimeters of force before it binds and auto reverses. This is telling you that the signal is on. When it reverses, you'll hear a beep, and then here the light is off. This is in auto reverse mode. This is the attachment that needs to be on here, is a recommended WD79M at a 2-to-1 ratio. So what we would do is we'd contact the manufacturer, whichever files you like, contact your Patterson merchandise rep and ask them which ones they recommend, and then the manufacturer rep will set our RPM and our Newton force of centimeters. So first thing we want to do to activate these fields, to change it, is to push the plus button. Now you see it activates the first field. So first field we're trying to change is the RPM. So manufacturer says increase to, let's say, 400 RPM. Now we're going to use our up, down, back buttons to go to the Newton centimeters. How much force is required before that file separates? We're going to want to change that by plus or minus whatever that manufacturer recommends. So let's say that that number is, say, 500. So we have 400 RPMs, 500 Newton centimeters of force. We can also change that to gram centimeters, which changes the decimal. Most of the time it's going to be measured in Newton centimeters. This is going to be our attachment for it with that ratio in auto reverse. If we're happy with that, we hit program, memory 1. Now memory 1 is set for 400 RPM, 500 Newton centimeters in auto reverse with the beep on when it hits that 500 Newton centimeters of force. Maybe our next one is set for 625 RPM, 24 Newton centimeters of force with an 8-to-1. So it depends on what attachment you're using and what file, most importantly, that you're using. So going back to our memory 1, 400 RPM with 500 Newton centimeters of force, 2-to-1 ratio, auto reverse. So let's say that we want auto reverse. Let's explain auto reverse first. So what's happening is when we hit the rheostat, it spins, then it binds. It's going to auto reverse. So now it's just spinning and auto reverse like this until we let go of the rheostat, and then it stops. As soon as you hit the rheostat again, it starts going forward again. What auto reverse does, push and hold, scroll down, scroll over, increase. Now you'll see 2 arrows going this way. This means you're in auto reverse. So I can now program M1, which programs all 1, 2, 3, and 4 for auto reverse. What auto reverse does is it's still spinning at 400 RPM, 500 Newton centimeters of force, and when it binds at 500 Newton centimeters of force, you keep your foot on the rheostat, pull it out, it rotates 1, 2, 3 times in reverse and automatically goes forward. So what happens is that we're going into that canal, it binds, you hear a beep beep, pull the file out, it rotates 3 times on its own and go back in. So now we're speeding you up. Again, go in, beep beep beep, pull up, 1, 2, 3, go back in. Foot stays on the rheostat the whole time. It's not as noisy when you're doing it this way, and it will speed you up. Next and last thing is that this is reverse. You'll see this start to blink, so if you need to back it out before it reaches the 500 RPM, you can hit this button and it will back that file back out. Push it again, it goes back forward. Then we return it, or we hit this button again to go back to high speed.